So in terms of analytics, we've had 19k views within the last 28 days, 1,000 watch hours, then 200 plus subscribers. So this is more like the main requirement. I have to feel this and feel this, in which I know I can do it before. My plan is to do it before the month of October runs out. Sorry, the month of November runs out. And I believe you all can help me. So please recommend my videos to other people. Watch my videos, subscribe to the channel. I want to feel this week. And also, this is more difficult, but I believe I can do it. So it's about 1,700 watch hours. So by God's grace, we can feel this before the next 20 days, okay? So first things first, you can see this is 12:44 a.m. and the date here 18th of December 2024. Then if you come to my YouTube analytics from the 18th of December 2024, I would proudly tell you all that we've done it, but not completely. We still have a long way to go. Let me show you the YouTube analytics and how it is going. So we're going to come right here to N, and then we're going to scroll down. Now we can see so this one has been achieved, so we have to fill this before we get into the monetization process. And I don't know, but you guys can help me achieve it before the month of December runs out, or maybe even the month of January. Thank you. And then having said that, let's jump back straight into the video. So this is one of those videos where you watch and you stop losing money on Forex. A whole lot of people lose money and a whole lot of people make a whole lot of money from the Forex market. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 guaranteed keys that are going to reduce your losses in the Forex market, just so you're not going to be like this guy. And ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the power of price action. So first things first, let me run you through the definition of price action, which is the ability to read or determine the direction of the Forex market or the Forex chart. It's so simple. You don't need any other so much explanation on how price action works. That is just it. Ladies and gentlemen, just to jump straight into it, the first key I have for you here is candlesticks. So when it comes to candlesticks, when you're trading in the Forex market, it is best to always look at the length or the power of the candlesticks, because they actually depict the momentum of the sellers or the buyers or the people in control of the market. Now, for example, as we can see, there's a very ginormous candlestick from here to this level, and now it now makes you understand that at this point in time, the sellers are in control. The sellers are the ones in the market, so you don't want to go buying when the sellers are the ones in control. All you need to do is follow the power of the candlestick and you're good to go. We can see this huge and ginormous candlestick. It's more like a bearish engulfing candlestick, and this is one. Then we have the second one, and then the third one is kind of breaking. So at this point you realize, hey, seems like the buyers are trying to fight into the market, but still the sellers are in control. And then we have the fourth candlestick, and then the fifth candlestick. As time goes on, it starts becoming less powerful, and at this point it even changes color to a green candlestick. So it signifies that, hey, the buyers are trying to come into play. So maybe you could do something like this. So this will actually be a wonderful play out of the trade if only you just follow the power of the candlesticks. Let me give you another example. So as we can see here, this is another very wonderful example of candlesticks. And the point I'm trying to make is this: before you jump into a trade, just look at the candlesticks, because at this point in time, you have this very powerful candlestick that goes to the downside, this bearish candlestick. It is here, and then we have the next one, and then the next one, the third candlestick, it kind of loses momentum, just as the last example I showed you, where the third candlestick always loses momentum. It doesn't always lose momentum, but on most cases it loses momentum. This is when you start realizing that, hey, the market is slowly trying to change its direction. And then we can see the next candlestick is also here, a very huge candlestick, and then the next, and then it changes direction at this point. So you realize that the more the candlestick goes, the less powerful it becomes. And as you can see, we also have something similar right here. We have a very powerful bearish engulfing candlestick, and we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The point is, look at the candlesticks, Look at how fat these candlesticks are, and it tells you a whole lot. So now, I know what you're thinking. How can I jump into a trade of a candlestick? And I'll be honest with you, candlestick doesn't really give the best answer when you're about to jump on a trade. And that brings me to my second key, which is sensitive points. There are some prices in the market that the candlesticks respect very, very well. And personally, I call it the sensitive points. Those of you who trade SMC and ICT could call it liquidity or these bias or whatever they're going to call it. I don't know. I don't trade SMC. Look at this market and analyze it for yourself. What part of the market do you think is a sensitive point? I mean, what part of the market do you think the charts or the candles respect? Just in case you have not seen it, I'll show it to you. Now we have this. What you should look for is wherever the market gets to and reverses, or something sort of is a point that is respected in the forex market. A whole lot of times, all you need is where the market touches 2 or 3 times. If you're that guy, you could do 3, 4, even up to 5 times, but 2, 3 is cool. Now, as we can see here, the market got to this point and kind of made a little reversal. This is more like a fake out. A whole lot of people jumped into a trend like this or a trade like this, and they had to take out their stop losses. And then we can see it respected this point, coming here, going down, coming here again, going down, and coming here again. So you're very much aware that this is a very powerful resistance zone. And here we can see another example. Can you find any sensitive points in the market here? Just in case you can't find, I'll show you one. So we can see there is more like a level here in which the market kind of respects. And we can see there's another one beneath. It's just little, and see something like this. So this is what I call a multi-sensitive point, where it is more like a support to the ones above and a resistance to the one below. Remember the point I made about candlesticks? Now you can merge it with the sensitive points you have here. All you need to do is look for an angle where the market has a kind of sensitive point, and then whenever the market comes again back to that sensitive point, then you can take your trade. It is that simple. For example, as the market came here, you'd have taken the trade to the downside, and you have a nice 1:2 risk to reward. And once you mark out your sensitive point, there's like a 95% chance that the market will always respect that sensitive point that has been marked out. Now above it, we also have a very beautiful sensitive point in which, just in case you have not seen it, I'm going to make it known to you. So as the market got here into this key level, like I said, it's not always perfect. So just learn to adjust it in a way that suits you the best. So as the market got to this key level, if you had taken a buy on this trade, knowing fully well that the market came to this place previously here, so we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you needed to do is just to draw a line, knowing fully well that at some point the market will come back here. So as the market was already here, you would have taken the trade to the upside till this level, and you have a beautiful 1:6 risk to reward. And this, my friends, is a very beautiful trade that would have played out if only you marked out your sensitive points correctly. So ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? Now, just in case you're not seeing what I'm seeing, let me show it to you. So there's a sensitive point around this area, which is here. So this is a very wonderful sensitive point. And I mean, you can also draw it in the downside too, just in case you want to get, you know, a little bit more confirmation. So as we can see, the market came to this area, went to the downside, came up. Also, it took out some people who jumped into the trade quickly, and it came down and it came to this up. And also right now, if at this point in time you would have taken the trade, maybe something like this, knowing fully well that this is the next sensitive point, you'd have had a wonderful 1:4 risk to reward. All you need to do is look left, look back in time and know where the market has gone before, know the kind of sensitive points that existed before. What the forex market did yesterday, it is eventually going to do that tomorrow. So watch out for sensitive points. So ladies and gentlemen, I present you the next key, which is retests. Even if you mark out a sensitive point, how would you know when the forex market is really about to jump on a trade? Retesting is simply when the market comes back to that sensitive point to give you an entry signal before you can take the trade. And this is what I mean. For example, here we can see that the market got to this sensitive point, and maybe some people would have decided to jump on a trade here, and it would have stopped them out because they did not get an entry signal and they didn't wait correctly to get an entry signal. So what you would have done currently is wait for the market to retest and give you some entry signals. Now you have a candlestick, and also you now have a sensitive point, and now the third key, which is retracement. If you fix these three together, you're going to get a beautiful entry signal that you take the trade perfectly. Now clearly this didn't give an entry signal, because though it went to the upside, it broke above, and now it came to the downside, because at this point there was no entry signal right here. It didn't give us the perfect entry signal which we're going to go into the trade. So what we would have done is waited, and here we can see it's a little bit different. Let me show you. Here's a little bit different. Why? Because when the market broke above, it came back to this exact same sensitive point. And now this is where you're meant to realize that it gives you this, it seems like the sellers do not have any power right here. Then you are very much aware that the market is about to go for a buy. Because one, you have looked at the candlesticks like I talked about previously. The candlesticks of the sellers look so weak. That is point number one. Now point number two is that you have drawn the sensitive points. And then point number three, you have to wait for it to retest. And when you wait for it to retest, which is this, it comes back to that same sensitive point in which you have drawn. And ladies and gentlemen, then you can now have your beautiful entry signal to the upside. And this trade went so beautifully well that maybe if you are taking the trade, you would have gotten a beautiful 1:6 risk to reward. I'll show you another example. Now this is a very perfect example. Imagine we're going to go for a sales for this example. First, like I said, we look at the candlesticks. We can see we had a whole lot of bearish candlesticks. Yes, though they were weak because of this sensitive points here. The sensitive points made them weak. But still, we had a whole lot of candlesticks. It made a retracement, and it was still going to the downside, and on and all. So first things first, we can now identify that there are more red candlesticks than green candlesticks. So it is obvious that the sellers are in charge, right? Point number one, candlesticks, the sellers are in charge. And now the second point is sensitive points. Now when you draw out your sensitive points here, which is your first mark, another sensitive, most times it's good to draw out as many sensitive points as you can see. So another sensitive point you can see right here in this market is maybe something like this. But although this one is like a minor sensitive point, where we have here, like I said, this is more like a minor sensitive point. So maybe if you're a scalper, you would have taken a trade like this because you are a scalper. Because you're a scalper, you would have taken a trade like this. But if you're a scalper, this is a beautiful trade. If you're not a scalper, fine. Now back to what I was saying. Another major sensitive point we can actually pack out here is this one. As we can see, it is very clear right here. So this is another sensitive point we got. Why? Because we have seen the markets respect this area in previous times. And like I said, what the market did yesterday, it is going to do tomorrow. So knowing fully well, we can now assume that first things first, the candlesticks are showing that the sellers are in charge. That is one. We've marked out the sensitive points. Then we have to wait for a perfect entry signal. And what is the entry signal? We have to wait for the market to retest. Retest as in coming back to that same level or that same entry point where it is about, it's more like it wants to charge to take off. And this is what we have here. So at this point in time, the market came to the downside. It's going to be bad if you enter the trade, maybe immediately the market gets here. No, let the market play out perfectly. And when it breaks beneath, you see that same market coming back to that sensitive point you have marked out, because it is a highly respectable sensitive point. So the market will always come back. It is like gravity. What you throw up must always come back down. So the market will still come back to this sensitive point. And then at this point, my friends, you have gotten your perfect entry signal. All you need to do now is take the trade to the downside, and this would have been a wonderful 1:8 risk to reward, because you understand the power of price action. Remember, there are three things I talked about. 1, candlesticks. 2, sensitive points. And 3, retracement, or allowing the market to retest. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. Do not forget to subscribe. I always remain Mr. Sam.